Let's begin looking into individual CALPADS system documents with the CALPADS File Specifications or CFS document. Our objective for this lesson will be for you to understand the purpose of the CFS document, its intended use, where you can locate it, and how to navigate the CFS document effectively. The CFS provides data submission requirements at the individual field or file specification level, as well as information on CALPADS file processing methods. This document will provide LEA business and technical staff, as well as student information system vendors, the data submission specifications to generate CALPADS supported files. CALPADS file formats are used to enable the submission of student, teacher, and course data to meet California's state and federal reporting requirements. The CALPADS file specifications, or CFS, has two different versions. The Microsoft Word version is more detailed in its description of the data submission than the Excel version, and so should be used when a great level of detail is desired. The Microsoft Excel version provides a tabbed spreadsheet with individual field requirements and processing rules that can be sorted or filtered to allow for quick and efficient reference. Both the Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel versions of this document contain the file processing methods, character sets, supported XML schemas, and operational keys. The Microsoft Word version contains additional information regarding the revision history and expected schools by submission type. Since the Microsoft Excel version is the most widely used and intuitive version of the CFS, let's take a look at this document and look at navigating the document in order to utilize it effectively. After the Microsoft Excel CFS document is opened, you will see a workbook with tabs for each of the CALPADS file types. You may be more familiar with the abbreviations for these file types: SENR, SINF, SPRG, and so on. The first tab is SSID enrollment and contains information on the CALPADS policy and business rules as they relate to individual fields within the SSID enrollment file type. The SSID enrollment file type is often referred to with the abbreviation SENR. We will go over the kind of information contained in each of the columns in this tab shortly. The next tab is the Student Information tab, which contains information on the CALPADS policy and business rules as they relate to individual fields within the Student Information file type. The Student Information file type is often referred to with the abbreviation SINF. Next is the Student Program tab, which contains information on the CALPADS policy and business rules as they relate to individual fields within the Student Program file type. The Student Program file type is often referred to with the abbreviation SPRG. And so on for each of the tabs in the CFS. Each tab represents a CALPADS file type, and each tab contains information on the CALPADS policy and business rules as they relate to individual fields in that file type. Inside of the tabs, each file type has the same headings. The first heading in each tab is the field number. The field number is the order in which the data element appears within the record. The field number will always be a number, followed by a decimal, followed by a number. The number before the decimal represents the number of the file type. Fields in the SSID enrollment or SENR records will always have a 1 before the decimal place. Fields in the student information or SINF records will always have a 2 before the decimal. Fields in the student program or SPRG records will always have a 3 before the decimal point, and so on as listed on this slide. The numbers after the decimal place locate the field within the record and are in the order in which the data elements appear within the record. So, for example, grade level code is the 25th field in the SSID enrollment record, and so is referred to with field number 1.25. Staff job classification code is a piece of the staff assignment or SASS record and is the 13th field of that record. So field number 8.13 refers to the staff job classification code field in the staff assignment record. The public name is the name of the CALPADS data element. So, in the example above, the name of the CalPADS data element in field 8.13 is Staff Job Classification Code. We can think of this as the name of the field. The field type is the type of the data element. There are three possibilities here: CS indicating a character type, DT indicating a date type, and NU indicating a numeric type. In the example above, the field type is CS, indicating that CalPADS will accept characters or character values in this field. The max length is the maximum length of the data element, or the maximum number of characters that will be accepted by CalPADS for the given field. In the example above, Staff Job Classification Code has a 2-character maximum length. The definition provides a brief explanation of the field element. This is one of the columns you will look at most to understand what a given field represents. In the example above, if you would like to gain clarity on the Staff Job Classification Code included in the staff assignment record, the CFS defines the Staff Job Classification Code as a coded value representing the Educational Services Job Classification. An Educational Services Job Classification is the classification of a specific occupation of an individual, such as a teacher, administrator, and pupil services. The code set column provides the name of the code set, if applicable. We will go much more in depth on this point when we get to the CalPADS code sets document. For now, it is sufficient to note that if a field requires you to input a code, that code can often be found in a code set, and the code set column in the CFS provides the name of that code set. The comments column provides clarification about the data element, which supplements the definition and provides pertinent information on the data element outside of its definition. So, for example, the Staff Job Classification Code is clarified in the comments column as applying to certificated staff and non-certificated staff with seeds. The validation column describes the rule processing that will be performed by the system. For example, CalPADS runs 2 checks or validations on the Staff Job Classification Code field. CalPADS checks that the code entered is a valid code combination, and we will get more on this point when we get to the valid code combinations document. And CalPADS checks that only one staff assignment or SASS record exists in the file with the same academic year ID, SEID, school of assignment, and job classification code. The required column indicates whether the data element is required to be populated when submitting the record to CalPADS. If a field is required but not populated, you will get an input validation rule or IVR error. There are 3 possibilities in the required column: Y indicating yes, N indicating no, and conditional. If conditional, the conditions are described. The operational key is a field or set of fields that identify how the record will be processed depending on the type of processing associated with that record type. Now that we've seen each of the column headings in the CFS, this slide can act as a quick reference for you to understand each column in the CFS at a glance. And now that we've seen all of these column headings, let's learn more about how to navigate through the CFS document utilizing them. You are able to quickly and effectively navigate through the CFS document utilizing the column headings filter function. The filter function is only available on the Microsoft Excel version and not present in the Microsoft Word version of the CFS document. On the bottom right-hand side of the heading of each column, there is a caret, or a downward arrow that you can press in order to access the filter navigation menu. Public name is a great heading to use when filtering, as it sorts through the stated name of each field. Once you click the caret in the public name heading, a menu will appear. First, deselect all and use the search bar to find the public name you would like further clarity on, and check only the box next to that public name. Then, click OK to perform the filter function. In this example, we've selected Education Program Code. When we press OK, we will see that field 3.13, Education Program Code, is the only row that appears for us. Now that we've filtered for education program code, we can see all of the detail just discussed about this field: its field number, public name, field type, maximum length, definition, and so on. In this way, you can easily locate information pertinent to your work, filtering past unnecessary information so that it doesn't appear. Although public name is a generally quite useful heading to filter with, there are other helpful headings to utilize the filter function with when navigating the CFS. For example, if we want to look at only required fields in the student information record, we would navigate to the Student Information tab and click the caret on the bottom right-hand side of the Required heading. We would then deselect all and select only Y in the menu and click OK. Once we've filtered for Y in the Required column, we will see only required fields in that record type. In this case, we see only required fields in the student information record, but the exact same process can be performed with any record type in the CFS. You will typically use the CFS while populating data in CALPADS and while troubleshooting data in CALPADS. When populating data in CALPADS, the CFS is used to determine submission requirements at the individual field or file specification level, such that you are able to follow the guidance contained in the CFS and submit CALPADS-supported files. For example, a student's legal name is Marvin, but he will only answer to the name Mark. You would like to capture this in CALPADS, and you notice the SSID enrollment record has a student legal first name and a student alias first name field. In this case, you would refer to the CFS to determine if Mark meets the criteria of an alias name according to CALPADS business rules. While troubleshooting errors in CALPADS, the CFS is used when validation errors or certified data discrepancies state that field requirements aren't met. For example, the FRMT0001 error states that the field length doesn't match CALPADS file specifications. The CFS is then consulted to determine proper field length. We've now covered the location, purpose, intended use, and navigation of the CALPADS file specifications document, or CFS.